Senator Sifuna.
Mr. Speaker, now that everyone is doing it, let me start by declaring that I do not have a student at Consulata. But because I am the senator for Nairobi, all of these kids who are here today are our kids. And as the area senator, I'm responsible for their welfare. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to the Senate this afternoon, because I will take my remarks on the bill that is before this House. You follow a bit and then we'll have a conversation out there. If you have any follow-up questions that you can ask for your experience this afternoon in the Senate. Listening to some of the contributions here, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed, Senator Sifuna, proceed. May the senator be heard in silence, please. He's merely welcoming.
You know, she might surprise me and tell me I have a child there that I'm not aware of. So I'm a bit wary of taking that point of information. Honorable Speaker, I know that for the kids and the visitors who have visited us this afternoon, listening to some of the contributions on the floor, you would not even know what we are discussing. Because although we have rules in this Senate about staying relevant to the conversation that is on the floor, people really like to digress. And I'm not going to mention anyone because you've been here and you've heard. What is actually before debate this afternoon is a mediated version of the Feed and Food Safety Control Coordination Bill. Everything else that you have heard has no relevance whatsoever to the conversation, including these unwarranted invitations for me to be a guest of honor at some fundraiser. I'm sure you were as confused as I was about what that has anything to do with food and feed control. So a mediated version of the bill for the benefit of the kids who are here, it basically means that it is legislation that both houses have to pass. First, it can either originate in the National Assembly or in the Senate, and then when it comes to the other house can make amendments. In this particular instance, it actually originated from the National Assembly. And when it came to the Senate, because this particular bill, the purpose of the bill is stated to be to provide for coordination of the public institutions in the control of food and feed safety. We in the Senate felt that the county governments have a role to play in control of food and feed safety. So what we did is we inserted a clause in that particular bill that also defined county governments and county departments as competent authorities to be able to do this job. But that was out of the feeling that we as a Senate, because if you look at Article 96 of the Constitution, our primary responsibility is to take care of the interest of counties and their governments. So because we introduced a new clause, we had to go to what we call mediation, which basically means a committee, a set of senators from this House goes to sit down with a set of members of the National Assembly and discuss and agree which final version of the bill is going to be adopted. And some of the people who are contributing here, you noticed, they were very quick to congratulate the team that we sent from the Senate. But I want you to know, and the House to know, that in fact, at that particular mediation, and this is quite interesting in the context of the other mediations that are happening, there was only one sitting of this mediation committee, and it was to agree that we drop the Senate amendments. So, personally, I would not be quick to congratulate my brother, the senator from Bungoma, Wakoli, because all we did, we sent a group of senators there to agree that the Senate amendment was unnecessary in this bill. So, whereas others will give Senator Wakoli his flowers, I personally will not do that. Because we send the teams from the Senate to put our foot down in these mediations with the National Assembly. And I wish one of these fine days we publish a list of the scores. How many of our Senate amendments actually find favor in the National Assembly? None. There are very few. How are we always the ones expected to back down? In the current mediation, for instance, of the division of revenue, it was a promise that was made a long time ago that in the current financial year, actually last financial year, we would add the monies that go to the counties to 450 billion shillings. How is it possible that 2 years down the line, the National Assembly is refusing to agree to that position that was settled between, of course, people don't like me talking about the expired MOU, although I'm the one who wrote it, between UDA and ODM. One of the clauses there would that we would get to 450 in the last financial year. 2 years down the line, why are we fighting with Treasury and the National Assembly on the 450 billion? How is it not possible for a change that the mediated version of the division of revenue is also arrived at in one meeting, where they just go and accept the Senate position? So whereas we are always giving concessions to the National Assembly proposals, we don't get the same courtesy. They don't extend us the same favor because they feel that we as a House do not have the sort of powers that they have. But I am feeling, Honorable Speaker, that we as a Senate should also sometimes put our foot down, because there was proper thinking that went into that amendment to involve the county governments and their departments in the control of food safety. If you look at the licensing regime, just to open that kiosk that somebody says they go to eat madondo and chapati, it requires licensing by the county governments. When there is an outbreak of disease here, it is expected that our county governments are the ones to coordinate efforts to ensure that people receive treatment. So I do not agree with the proposal that somehow county governments do not have a role to play in control of food safety. And the members of the committee, led by Senator Wakoli, maybe you will give us context as to why the National Assembly felt that county governments are not competent authorities in terms of the Feed and Food Safety Control Coordination Bill to be able to prevent or to help in the prevention of those issues. So for me, I want to stop there. We want to listen to members of the committee. It's a very brief report. They just dropped the Senate amendment, and we would want to understand why.
Senator Sifuna, would you like to be informed by our intelligent Senator Beatrice?
Because she's insisting, and she's from my political party, and she's a lady, I don't want to appear like I'm not a gentleman. Let's hear what she has to say, Honorable Chair.
Yes, Senator Beatrice, you may proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Senator Sifuna, for allowing me to give this information. And Senator Sifuna, I wanted to give this based on the welcoming remarks you are giving to the Consolata School. Honorable Speaker, this is a school that has very well values that we must celebrate as they visit Parliament today. Senator Sifuna, you need to remind the school, and we need to celebrate their traditions. Honorable Speaker, this is the only school that allowed the children of our late party leader, one Raila Amolo Odinga, when the wife was chased away from the Ministry of Education then, and her children would not be allowed to be admitted into any school. It is only the Consolata School, after Dr. Ida Betty Odinga insisted and packed in the principal's office for more than 3 days. No school would take Raila's children in. They were chased away from all schools, and it is only the Consolata School that admitted Rosemary Odinga, that admitted Junior Odinga, and we must celebrate them because they came out as a school that practiced inclusivity, that did not discriminate at any Kenyan. And Honorable Speaker, that is why I had to give that information. And I'm a Catholic too, so keep to those values. We are proud of you. The whole nation is proud of you, and the school will forever remain in the history books of this country. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Sifuna, now you have the benefit of that information.
Yeah, the students from Consolata will determine the value of that information, but it's helpful to know, because I thought the information she was giving was with regards to the bill or areas to do with the reason why our amendments were dropped. But it's fine.
Senator Sifuna, information is information, and you have been accorded that important information.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I accept and acknowledge. I just want to conclude by saying that whereas the conversation even amongst within the public now is what is going on with our schools. One of the things I learned, Honorable Speaker, I visited a school in Makadara called Our Lady of Mercy. And the things I learned is that we also need to listen to these students. It is very interesting, the perspectives they have about the environment in the schools. When I was there at AWA, as they call themselves, after listening to all the presentations from the teachers about the need for a new house for the principal, a bakery machine, and so on and so forth. Those young girls just pulled me to the side and told me, Sifuna, please go to the Senate and tell the Senate that we want our hair to be plaited. And whereas you think that's a small issue, when these events have been happening, increasingly I'm seeing from other schools, those girls saying we want to be allowed to plait our hairs. So when we also get into this debate, let's learn to listen to these young people. They might give you a perspective that you have not seen in order for us to be able to resolve this crisis. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and allow me to do my duty as a Senator of Nairobi by going to engage those young ladies outside, because there are unique things that the Senator from Homa Bay might not know about our children here in Nairobi. Thank you.
Thank you. And you may invite that Senator Kajwang to also get to learn about the students and the schools in Nairobi. Senator Mungatana.
I want to thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to also say